show. We're on the air at 9 o'clock on every weekday night, taking calls about the Jazz.
Hello, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself up here on the panel as the one and only Bridgeman. And my big mate, Ulster Bear. How are we doing, gentlemen?
Doing very, very well, thank you, mate.
Still make me laugh.
That was a nice quiet meeting before the show.
Absolutely, yeah. Could I just say a huge good evening to the boys in the lobby, the boys in the panel, and the boys in the lobby, and to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world. Huge good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio.
How we doing, Bridge? How we doing, Ulster? All right, man?
Aye, brilliant.
How can we help? How could you help me?
Aye, well, things are going in the right direction then. We're going to talk about, obviously, last night's match, and I'm sure we'll go on to the debacle that is Scottish football, Bridgeman, at some point this evening.
What a shambles, right enough. What a shambles.
Yes, you couldn't make it up, mate. You couldn't make it up. Incompetence at the highest level. Last night, Ulster Bear.
Oh, last night, mate, just a really good professional performance from our side. 6 changes, but you wouldn't have, if you didn't know the names of the shirts, you wouldn't have thought it was 6 changes from a 5-1 victory in the league that a few days before, because the team were just like clockwork, mate. We took cogs out, put cogs in, and everything worked perfect. We should be beating teams of course, with no problems being Rangers, but that hasn't happened in the past. We've struggled in these sort of games, but we blew them away, mate. Very convincing performance, and everyone to a man played very, very well, so very, very happy.
Bridgeman, similarities to Sunday's game. Slow start,
Yes,
first few minutes, then we get the goal pretty much. With a couple of situations, but nothing major. Corner kick, big Katic, pressure after, then we look a good team.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. First 10 minutes, it seems we've got a wee bit of habit with doing that, haven't we? We're not quite starting the game. After 15 minutes of most games, we're up to pace and we're running with the ball and things like that. But even Ayr United put a wee bit of pressure on us. I'm not saying it was absolutely amazing. I thought our goalkeeper brought off one really good save and took care of everything else. But they unfortunately for them, they ballooned a couple of shots. But really and truly, particularly after we scored our first goal, it was just we just turned around and looked at each other. If you want a better word in the stands, and says, "Well, just how many now?" And my goodness gracious, did we come up with them? My God, that could have been easily 10 last night. Could easily have been 10. But as Big Ulster said as well, we played really, really well, and to a certain extent, a very professional way of playing. We made sure we looked after ourselves, particularly on the second half when our youngsters came on, and we ended up with a really, really. It must have been average about 22 or something like that. When out of all the guys that finished the game, it must have been an average age of about 22, which is fabulous.
A wee trivia question for you both, right? Yeah, are you there, Ulster?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll take it a position at a time, right? We played there literally a few weeks ago, last February, yeah, which, 7 months ago now, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
The team that day. Give me the team. Yeah, you go first, Bridge, goalkeeper.
Foderingham.
Correct. Right back, Ulster.
Jeez. Oh, I'll say Tab. Yeah, Tab.
Correct. 2 centre-halves. One of the centre-halves, Bridge.
Oh, the big Italian boy would be Bruno Alves.
Nope. Ulster.
Okay.
I'm going to take a guess. Wilson.
No, he was away last Christmas, mate. He done a wham.
Oh, right enough.
So was it a bit Cardozo? A bit Cardozo then?
No. That's 3. He's doing well. He's doing
really well, isn't it? Oh my God Almighty! I give in.
Throw Bates in there.
Bates, yep.
Oh,
and
Bates,
I'll give you a
course,
clue.
yeah.
I'll give you a clue. He was the worst centre half since I seen the DVD of you and Fox.
Oh, not Martin.
Russell Martin.
Russell Martin.
Left back.
Go ahead, Bridge.
Oh, sorry.
Left.
Left back.
Aye.
Who would be left back then? James, we've raced everybody, haven't we? We've roasted everybody. Halliday.
No, Declan Christopher John.
Oh, Declan John. Right. How you forget all these people?
Right, so we're into midfield, and we'll say we've got a midfield 4.
I'll go first. Guess Candace on the right.
Nope.
Oh, for God Almighty's sake!
You call yourself supporters? You?
Oh, I know, it's shocking. It's absolutely disgraceful. I think these games are well left alone, you know.
Come on, next one.
Right midfield.
Hurry up. We'll have to
honest to God, I can't remember anywhere midfield then.
If I said that, well, what did I say? I'll say that Greg Docherty was on the right.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'll go with that then.
Who would be on the left?
Halliday.
They used to play with Motherwell. Correct. In the middle. I need to start giving you a clue.
Please.
If I said Bros, would that help you with this one?
Goss. It'd be Luke Goss? Yeah,
Sean Goss.
Sean Goss, sorry. Well, Luke Goss is the Goss brother.
I owe you nothing, Bridge.
I owe you nothing, absolutely, pal.
Right, another one. I'll give you a clue because we're running out of time here. We've only got 2 hours. The next one plays at Wigan now. Ulster.
Windass. Oh, sorry, Ulster.
Oh.
Well, all right, well, I'll go for the other Morelos because I know he missed the sitter.
He did. Morelos and somebody else up front. Always smiling.
Cummings.
Right, for those that are trying to listen, I'll give him a team. Shows you the changes, that's my point. Foderingham, Tav, Russell Martin, Bates, Declan John, Jamie Murphy, Greg Docherty, Sean Goss, Josh Windass, Jason Cummings and Morelos. So obviously Jamie's injured, but Morelos, Tav are the only outfield players when Tav wasn't playing last night. And Wes in goal, who's new second choice. Substitutes Herrera, one of my all-time favourites, Kenny Miller, and Andy Halliday.
Andy Halliday. I thought he was playing 3 positions there.
Goalkeeper Andy
Halliday. He came on for West Foderingham in the 85th minute. So what my point is, mate, how dramatic the squad has changed, Ulster.
That's crazy, mate. I honestly didn't think we would get as many out, to be fair. I knew we would be getting a lot of recruitment in. I didn't know how good a class there would have been, but I knew it was needed. But I thought we were going to struggle, mate, to get so many of them out the door because of who would take them, to be honest. But yeah, it's been fantastic, mate. The work that's been done and for everything to gel the way it has been these last couple of weeks and in Europe, etc. It's unbelievable. It's credit to everybody involved at the club behind the scenes as well.
Bridgeman, when you're sitting there and everybody's chatting about the game, what are they scoring the percentage improvement in the squad, in the team, people, what they're saying about you? I know you've got the empty seats, but...
like they're all, everyone, it's massive. It's absolutely massive. You're getting close to 90% improvement. Seriously. Maybe even more than that. It's just incredible. You mentioned a couple of players that we thought were quite good. Sean Goss. I forgot about him. Completely forgot about him. These boys that we've got playing for us now, if you look at last night and last Sunday there, my God, what marvellous players we've got in our team now. What a difference, right enough. What a difference.
I mean, there was great performances last night. Kent, for me, obviously, the boy Middleton grabbing the headlines with 2 goals. Ajira at times looked a good player. I know that the standard of the opposition's no great. Andy Halliday had a good game. The boy, the big centre half had a good game. Looks as if he could be an asset. And we're getting people. Graham Dorrans is getting minutes in the legs. It's all positive, Ulster.
Yeah, it is, mate. Everything's positive. It's like, I just didn't think, we'll be at this stage of the game where, at this stage of the season, I suppose, bringing so many new players in it and being able to make 6 changes and everything's still going so well. And you can count, they've got Graves there to come as well. You've got, as you say, young Rossiter who we know is a cracking young player. He just needs a wee bit of luck with fitness and injuries. You've got Dorans, who in my opinion is the attacking midfielder that we've been desperate for, to be honest, in some of the games, especially the early games. So
I don't think he was too influential last night, but I don't want to get too involved. He's just getting back his fitness.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about fitness now, mate. And the game was going well for us, as I say. There was no need for him to, you know what I mean, to go and wreck himself. You know what I mean? He just went to stroll through the game, pretty professional. But I think as he gets the fitness, mate, and gets to work with his team over the next few weeks, he'll be a massive part of our team going forward.
Can I just say on that, on Dorrans, I thought Dorrans in the first 10, 15 minutes, he's the one that came back and told people to move forward, step out and things like that, and advised, particularly Katic, who seemed to be playing a wee bit deeper. And that was allowing them to fling the long ball in. And he came in, told the guys to calm down and move out, and we started to move up a wee bit, and that made a big difference. So well done to him there. But yeah, you're right, Oxtear. There's a type of game that his influence wasn't great, and it wasn't greatly visible, let's put it that way. It might have been more verbal than anything else. I thought he had quite good. When he got the ball, he did all right. No problem at all.
What did he get? He got good minutes in the legs, mate.
Oh,
He'll
absolutely.
be better for that game, and obviously the squad will be better for it. But I'm not saying he was poor or anything. He wasn't the most influential player on the part. Is that fair?
Oh yes, I agree with you. I think he was more vocal than physical. You know, his play. Jerry came right onto a game, and you could have just gave a Jerry the ball, and he would have just ran the whole thing for you at times. Yeah, last night. He gave the ball to Kent. Kent showed you all his speed of feet, and his first 3 or 4 yards, he bursts away from people, just like an absolutely top-class player is doing today. These guys have got it, and the more they play for us, I must admit, the more they play for us, the better, the more fitness they get, the more game time they get, as they say, minutes in the leg, and that becomes your match fitness, everything about you, your spatial awareness, everything improves. And these boys have got a lot, obviously it's a long way to go, but my God, are they brilliant for us? Absolutely brilliant.
I think you see Ajira, he looks as if he could snap, big Ulster, doesn't he? His legs look that thin.
But he's fun to watch. Like I know our defence, you can name your 4 defenders, you can name your attackers. I still don't, only credit I can give to everybody, to be honest, in the team, especially in midfield, is I still don't know what our best midfield is. You know, I could argue a case for nearly anybody. You could argue a case for Outfield or Jerry. You know, it's just brilliant.
That's a great point, mate. I'm sure we might come to that one now that you've raised it, but that's a great point. Anyway, it was great to hear people stinking. Is Ibrox now a fortress? What's that? Bridge, 8 games, undefeated. Are we going in the right direction? It'd be great to hear people's thoughts on it. What's the number?
0141 356 in 1972.
Where else can you join us on, Big Ulster?
You can join us on Rangers Radio, online. You're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, we're on all different platforms. And if you join Skype, just you'll see a wee thing. What is it? Rangers Radio Online is the thing you put in for your Skype. So Fox will bring you in once you put a wee request to that.
Yeah, it'd be great. I believe Fox up with the winner of the tickets last night. Another great gesture by some of the Rangers radio listeners who donated the tickets, who wants to remain anonymous, so fair play to him, and a great gesture. I believe the Fox met up with the guy and his girl who went to the game last night, and it looked as if they had a good time, mate.
They did, and he said there's a wee video. We've had a wee video posted up online of his wee daughter, first ever game, and you see her walking up those famous steps, and her wee face just it's actually brilliant. You know, when you got to see it. Actually, I'll send it to you after the show, but her wee face just lights up when she sees the pitch and the noise and the crowd. And her daddy Gary says she had an absolutely amazing time. She was knackered by the end of it last night, but today when he came back there after work or whatever, she wanted to know if they were going again tonight. She wants to go back, but it's
a wee face when he says no.
Bridges like every night with his wife. Can I go to the Ibrox? Can I go to the Ibrox?
But it's amazing, Max. And this is what the wee show's for, isn't it? That's why we're here. You know, and if we can do wee things like that the odd time, and it's all worth it. So it is.
Aye, brilliant, mate. And also, she got to meet Fox. You know what I mean, Bridge? That's got to be something,
Well,
innit?
what can I say? It's that's just the highlights of anybody's career. That's the truth. He's such a nice guy.
The Coca-Cola Cube King.
Cola Cube boy.
Cube King, aye.
The king of the Cola Cubes.
The king of the Cola Cubes. Oh, that's a good bit.
Anyway, we've been joined with our first caller this evening. How we doing, Rudy boy?
Aye, everything's good to you, Rocks. Thanks very much. Aye, Bridge. Aye, also.
Rudy.
Cheers, Bridge.
Hey, Rudy.
Rudy.
Aye, Ulster.
This, I don't know. Feel good factor, is that fair?
Ah, definitely. I
feel good factor.
Feels great, you know.
Is Ibrox turning into a fortress for you? I mean, I looked at the fixture today just out of curiosity. I think we've got one away game in the whole month of October away to Hamilton now.
Well,
because the Hibs game's cancelled, so Ibrox is important. One at Hamilton, very well in our home games, and we're moving, mate.
Absolutely. I mean, you can go back to if you go all the way back to Bury, the friendly game, we've had 10 games at Ibrox, and we've had 9 wins, 1 draw. 9 wins and 1 draw. That would never happen.
Last minute goal as well.
10 games, 1 draw, 31 goals scored, and 3 conceded. That would never have happened last year, Ox.
Not happy with that defence, Rudy.
But that's phenomenal, Ox.
Bring Martin back.
Russell Martin's not got a club.
Ulster. Yeah, great.
What a joke.
You know, in 10 games, you know, the defence has they've lost 3 goals in 10 games at Ibrox. That's phenomenal. You know, now if you extrapolate that out to the rest of the season,
whoa.
I'm not
getting
that
cheeky. Again.
Extrapolate that out to the end of the season.
Oh, I like that.
Whoa,
I
like that one.
Take a note of that. You like that one, Ulster?
Jeez. Come on, this is for the common people, this show.
Sorry, Ulster. But you know what I'm saying, though? You know, if we can go the next 10 games at Ibrox and only lose 3 goals, you know, that would be a phenomenal performance at Ibrox. Aye. You keep the door closed at the back, Ox, you win games. Simple as that.
And one of them, in my opinion, it was the penalty kick on Sunday.
No, never.
The stats are good, Bridge. You're watching some decent stuff. You're seeing goals. We're keeping clean sheets. Positives.
Oh yeah, the stats, the figures that just be quoted there by Rudy's is tremendous. I mean, any club would love figures like that, you know, absolutely amazing. And yes, we're on the road to making Ibrox a fortress, which is what the manager and his assistant and all his staff wanted, and he's starting to look at drumming that into the players' heads. And the number of clean sheets we're having is quite incredible, but the number of goals we're scoring is just over the moon, isn't it? It's just fabulous stuff, you know. And yes, I look forward to it. We've all said it on here, certainly me anyway. We have to make Ibrox a fortress, and the sooner we get that done and get that into the players' heads, the better, because that builds up the feelings inside and the passion and everything else. And once you start winning all your games and don't lose many goals, you're really upset with yourself and your teammates when you do lose a goal. And that's the kind of thing that the manager's looking for. He's looking for that bit that brings it, not the anger, just the frustration of losing a goal, that kind of thing, you know, because it does make a big difference. You know that you played in good teams when you were younger, you know.
Is there only once we went behind all season? No, Motherwell as well. Motherwell won against them. We've only went behind twice all season, which is remarkable, really.
Hi, absolutely. You know, in both games, I don't think we didn't equip ourselves very well in the first half of both games, really, did we? You know, I mean, I know the second half they scored against us in the second half. I mean, I just think if you look at the club, the way the team's playing, you know, in general, and you look at all the stats, it's been a fantastic start to the season. You know, if you could go back to that Aberdeen game and we could just hold out for that last couple of minutes to get that 3 points, and the same at Motherwell, you know, if we could have just held out for that last minute just to get the 3 points, what an outstanding start to a season that would be. Getting into the Europa League, group stages of Europa League, no losing a game in nine games to qualify and get into the group sections of the Europa League. Haven't lost a game yet, and the stats I've just read out there: 31 goals, 10 games at Ibrox, and only one draw out of that, 9 months. I mean, it's phenomenal, they know. And they're not getting much credit for it, Ox, unfortunately, which is a real shame because not that it really matters. It only matters to us, really, at the end of the day. We want to see our team playing well. We feel good about what they're doing,
Don't really care what anybody else thinks.
I mean, last night, Ox, in my opinion, they hardly had to get out of second gear last night, and it was such a comfortable win. Cracking goals, great performances by young players. And I've seen a wee bit today. But it was only Ayr United. Well, it was only St Johnstone at the weekend, and it was 5-1. So for me,
St Johnstone were unlucky last night.
Well, they scraped a 1-0 win, and they're back to being world beaters again. Apparently,
Well, you're speaking about the world's greatest team.
The world's greatest team, your greatest team in the world, Bridge. Scraped a 1-0 win against St Johnstone last night. They're back to being world beaters. Look, doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, does it? If we keep performing the way we are performing, you asked me a question last night, Ox, whether I've seen anything off Aberdeen that worries me for the semi-final. Absolutely not. There's nothing that they've got that worries me.
Anyway, if people want to join us, Bridge, what's the number?
The number's 014 356 1972. So please call.
Where else can they join us? Ulster.
RangersRadio.online. And as I say, there's a Skype icon there as well, so get yourself on that and ring into us and talk to us.
And what can they talk about, Rudy?
They can talk about anything and everything to do with the famous Glasgow Rangers.
The famous Glasgow Rangers.
Or a rice buffet, mate, yeah?
We can talk about that as well. That's interesting.
I've just watched that video, Ulster. I just get sent, it was in the lobby.
Oh, you get a happy days.
Funny. Fair play. Our face is a picture. Brilliant. Just one comment. I think the ribbon should have been blue. Just a personal.
Yes, that's correct. I agree with you.
Sorry, Gary, if you're listening, but I think that you can tell the missus. I think the ribbons in the hair should have been blue for that special occasion. Might have a poll on Facebook about that. But listen, we've been joined by Mount Vernon. Evening, Mount.
Right, Tips.
All right,
how we doing, mate? All right?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. Listen, mate, this bus of yours, are we sorted for Baku?
We're on our way, mate.
We're on our way. We're on our way to Baku. We're on our way. Brilliant. Just brilliant.
At least we know how we're going to get there.
How are we going to get there? I don't know. When we're going to get there, we don't care. All we know is we are on our way. Yes, boys.
I shouldn't have said that, shouldn't I? I shouldn't have said that, should I?
No. To be fair, you played right in it. Listen, we spoke to you for a while on air. What you feeling? Good start of the month. We're all a wee bit done, but since then, we can't complain, can we?
No, I mean, hard one to take off at the start of the month, but I think our manager will learn for that. He really will. For me, guys, it was the big turning point was in that away stand in Villarreal. For me, it was the spirit of the team and the desire to get back in that game with the quality that Villarreal had showed that we really shouldn't be having any problems against any team in this country. For me, guys, we've got a manager and a coaching staff at the helm who know what it means to be part of this big club. So as far as I'm concerned, I really do think we've got the right guy, and the sky's the limit with this team. The sky's the limit with this club. We don't become the most successful club in the world without these special times. But no, as I said, it's just very, very, very encouraging, and it's really good after a long, hard 6-7 years to be back at, I think, let's be honest, where we belong, Oxfordshire.
I hear you. We've also been joined by Fox. Evening, Fox. Who's doing the typing? Not Fox. Fox
It's
must have
Fox.
dropped it. Is it? Oh, he might be sending me messages. Aye, great. I'm just going to, Rudy, and then I'll take this to Mount after that. In the last month, and well, it'll be exactly a month since when we played Sunday game. With the result in UFA, which the circumstances were great. With a bad one, we'll no mention. Then we bounced back. Dundee 4-0, Villarreal 2 each. St Johnstone 5-1, Ayr United 4-0. We play Livingston on Saturday, and that's for games in a month. Now, we'd expected to beat Dundee, we expected to beat St Johnstone, we expect to beat Ayr United. We've got to be honest about it, but it's the performances, Rudy.
Aye. It's not just picking up the 3 points, it's scoring goals for fun and playing some cracking football in the process. I mean, Dundee game, as badly as Dundee are doing at the moment, you've still got to go out and play, So we went out that day and we played some absolutely cracking football at times, And Dundee showed, they had a wee spell here or there where they showed they could play a wee bit, And I saw an interview with Neil McCann where he said there was times when they reckoned they should have won games. No talking about Rangers, obviously, but there was times when they should have picked up points. Games they should have won, but just didn't get the rub of the green, so to speak. But we went out that day and absolutely took them apart. So we did. Then we done the same thing to St Johnstone. It's the performances, as you say, Ox. It's not just going out and winning by a goal, or maybe getting a 2-1 win. We're playing teams off the park. Last night we did it to Ayr United, as you would expect today. I mean, they're a championship side. With the quality we've got, we should be doing that, even making 6 changes. But it's the performances. Even the boys that are coming in are putting a performance on as well, Ox.
Mount?
Oh, definitely. I think Rudy hits it in the head. It's the quality of this team is to behold for me. The quality of the football. I mean, Dundee was 5 on 10, and I don't think they would have argued in double figures. Last night was, I think it was Bridgeman. Big Ulster said, I don't think we even got out of second gear last night. And just the quality. I mean, just the quality we didn't have in the park was staggering for me. And I think when my old man mentioned it last night as I came through the door, and he says it's like the old days. We've got quality all over the park, and I just see quality everywhere, and we're going to have money with a shut deal to add to in January, and that's what being Rangers is all about, is having the best of players in the best positions. And as I said, I just think we've got quality across the park, and I just can't wait for the games to come. I really can't. It's an asphalt bus and Sunday, absolute carnage, but can't wait. It's all about the Rangers.
Oh, you're there?
Yep.
Yep. Oh, here.
So, I mean, the results, right? So, if you're going to pick the forwards of defence, what's impressed you the most? We'll start with Bridge, who accepts 1-0 every week. What's impressed you most? Forwards or defence?
As long as a victory 1-0, I'd accept it. But at the present moment, I think our defence is doing an exceptional job, and we managed to sort of change virtually the whole defence for last night, if you follow me. And we still did a really good job. So I think the defence have to be, including the goalkeeper here, they have to be given all the kudos it's going, because that's where the rock of what Rangers team's about. That's
Fair
from
comment.
there we can go.
Fair comment. Ulster, how do you see it?
I'm equally impressed with both, but what I'm more happy about is our defence, because last season I think we were still top goal scorers and we could score goals. Unfortunately, defence, we were terrible and have been for a long time, mate. So I'll probably edge towards the defence, because that's something we needed to desperately get sorted, and it's something that so far, you're talking about 3 goals conceded all season at home. It's fantastic, mate. So I'll just, for that alone, the defence will just edge it for me. Do you want to answer that, Rudy?
Aye, 10 games at Ibrox, 31 goals scored, 3 conceded. So it's kind of hard to pick between the two of them, Ulster, isn't it? You know, but like you say, last year we scored a load of goals last year. But I think in the top 6 teams in the Premier League, we let in more goals than anybody else in the top 6. I think last season. So the defence has to get the plaudits for me just now. I think they're doing an absolutely fantastic job. You know, I mean, there we brought Wes in last night, brought Joe Worrell in last night as well, you know. Andy Halliday at left back, Flanagan at right, moved out to right back, and they still done a cracking job, you know. So it's if you can keep the ball out the back, I know it sounds like a bit of a cliche, Ulster, but if you keep the ball out at the back, you keep the back door shut, you win games, mate. You know what I mean?
What about Wes? Did we have to take our hats off to him, Mount Vernon? He showed great professionalism in the 2 games he's played there. Kilmarnock, he had some great saves last night. He'd one, I think he just tipped to a bridge, yeah?
Yeah.
And then obviously he was quiet after that, but he showed a great attitude. We've got to take our hats after the boy.
Yep, he was there and he came out and...
You're no Mount.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said bridge. I apologise. So I actually did, apologies.
On you go, right then, bridge.
No, absolutely, Oxshire. I think it's testament again to the management we've got, that all the boys are buying into it. Unfortunately, Wes is. I do rate Wes as a goalkeeper, but when you've got Alan McGregor who's in the setup, then for me he's a natural number 1 for me.
Different class.
He's a different level of goalkeeper. You know, he makes world class saves. I don't think Wes does that, in my opinion. That's the only difference. That, you know, Shagger makes world class saves that you don't expect. And I think, as I said, Big Wes is an able replacement, and that's it. That's the levels of quality we should have in our team, Oxford. I know the boys mention it here every night about how well we're doing, but if you've got quality in the team and you've got people pushing for every position, that then pushes the boys on. I mean, even look at right back, left back, we've got centre halves, as usual. Some of the boys have said the quality is where we're pushing each other on, you know. And,
all right, so Bridge, get that pad off the fridge here, get that pen and start marking this down. You hear me?
Wait, Martin, right, so Martin, what doing?
We'll put McGregor in goal. We're going to see how we come up with our best team here so far and how we get there. But we're still going to look at last night's performance. So we looked at the defence. You were saying the defence is the rock for all these great performances. So we've got 3 centre-backs now. Young, pacey, strong, and big. Bridge.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah?
So, yeah.
Are you pleased? Because Martin and Bates, who we talked about the last time we played, Bates had a wee bit of potential. Wish him all the best.
Yeah.
For me, Russell Martin was one of the poorest centre-backs I've ever had the pleasure of watching in the top flight play for us.
Agreed.
You know? So, are you happy? Is Worrell pushing Katic and Goldson now, Rudy Bear, for you then, Ulster?
Definitely. I mean, you seen his performance against Villarreal, didn't you? I thought he was excellent. So he was once he got himself into the game. Bit of a blunder between him and Goldson. Like, that can happen, you know. That was just one of these things, you know, and the boy scored a worldie from it. But then he comes in again last night and he acquits himself really well for me, you know. I know you're probably going to pick who we think's the best team. But he's certainly pushing Katic and Goldson. And let's not forget, you've got Gareth McCauley who'll come in at some point. I don't think he's fully fit yet, but Gareth McCauley himself, all right, he's a bit long in the tooth now. But then so was Davy Weir, you know what I mean?
I bet you swap numbers, Will.
Aye, maybe. But then so is Davy Weir. But what Gareth McCauley does have is a huge amount of experience, Ox. A huge amount. I mean, Big Ulster will tell you there. They love him. You love him in that Northern Ireland jersey.
Mrs. McCauley listens to this show, mate. He'll be on the phone to you. Ulster. Ulster centre halves.
Yes, centre halves have all been good, mate. especially, well, we know what Goldson and Kadek have brought this because we've been watching them, and it's probably credit to them why there's only been 3 goals conceded because of their partnership. But then we have Young Worrell who came in board. We don't know much about him. I know he's played a lot of games. I think more for last season for Nottingham Forest. Obviously, we've got him now. Came in against Villarreal, as Rudy said. Wee bit of mix up at the start, but from then on, very, very good. Last night again, breezed through that game. Easy for him, to be fair. So you've got another really good prospect there to challenge these two. And then you've got, obviously, Gareth Macaulay, who is an older head. But
more mature.
Yeah, more mature. But he'll add strength to us as well whenever he's fit. And there's no doubt, and he said himself in his interview, he's not here just to sit in the bench. He wants to try and challenge the players as well to try and get into the team. So everything's looking really good for us in the centre half department.
So can I ask you to pick at the moment? Is anybody going against Katic and Goldson as a first choice 2 centre halves at the moment?
No.
100% on them two. 100% on them two.
Depends what you're playing though, doesn't it? Depends what you're playing though, actually. If you're going to play
system,
back.
The system's 4-3-3, 4-5-1, the way it's been set up, that's the way it's played. Are we going with Katic and Goldson at the moment, but being pushed hard with young Worrell and young Mr. Macaulay? Rudy.
Definitely Katic and Goldson for definite. I think they've developed the best understanding so far, probably only because they played so many times together more than any other centre-back configuration, But young Worrell for me, and as I said, big Gareth Macaulay and all, they'll bring a lot to the party. So they will. But Katic and Goldson just now, yeah.
All right, are you happy with that, for centre-half expert?
Yes, indeed, I'm delighted with that. I think he's saying the right thing. The boy Worrell's going to be a tremendous signing for us if, in fact, we can get him. But the more, shall we say, the more we say he's really good, the more chance it is that, what do you call him, Nottingham Forest will want a lot of money for him. I mean, a lot of money. The 2 boys that we've got Goldson and Katic, are in fact our own players, and for that, they'd be my rock. Goldson, we've seen him 3 times now, and he really looks apart. And based on the wee bit of information that Mount Vernon gave us tonight, he's going to be a really good player for us for sure. And hopefully the manager will be able to, shall we say, persuade the board to go and buy him. I'd like to see him a permanent member of our staff, certainly.
All right. So we're saying that the defence has been a catalyst, so we're going to pick the 2 fullbacks. Would it be fair to say at the moment Tav's a shoe in? Anybody object to that?
No.
Yeah, you have to go with
Tav. A minute. Travel will be on the phone in a minute.
He'll be on the left back when we're talking about the left back.
I mean, I know you can talk about Flanagan at right back, but Flanagan doesn't give you what Tav gives you going forward. You saw that against Dundee, I mean, he scores a beautiful free kick, smacks a cracker off the crossbar and sets Morelos up for his goal with a cracking wee pass, and that's what Tav gives you going forward. Flanagan, unfortunately, doesn't give you that, but I think Flanagan's better in his defensive duties than Tav is, but I would always go with Tav.
At the moment, since the season started, beginning of a stride, I don't think there's much between the two of them defensively, if I'm being honest. Flanagan's is cover for me.
Right.
Yeah. I think he's just cover. Mount, what you thinking?
I mean, I'm going to go full Tim mode here. I think Tavernier's the best right back at the moment in Britain. Going to go full Tim mode.
What's a big shout, Mount?
I think he's the best on form right back in Britain right now.
You know, seeing that boy playing for Plymouth?
I only watch Rangers, mate.
Aye, Britain. All right. I mean, he's on form. He's got a lot of assets.
Tell me who's a better right back right now in form. Tell me. Anyone tell me in the lobby? Best right back in Britain just now. On form.
Would you go for Kyle Walker?
Nah.
Man City?
Yeah, not good enough. Not good enough for Rangers. You've got Tav.
All right, fair enough, mate. I'll
hope you're setting our transfer budgets.
Nah. Hope he's putting the money
in. You like Lustig then, Mount? You don't fancy Lustig?
Wait, Bridge. Who does Lustig play for?
Exactly.
There we go.
The greatest team in the world, and you know it.
Doesn't he play for Rangers, mate? Doesn't he play for Rangers? Most successful team.
Right, so we're all agreed that Tav's a right back. So left back, obviously there's a wee bit of competition. Andy Flanagan, Moran, and obviously Lee Wallace is back in the squad again. So pick your left-sided defender, Bridgman.
Borna Barisic for me. All the way.
All right, so Rudy Bear.
Aye, Barisic for me. He's got an absolute wonder left foot, gets up and down the park fantastically well for me. And he's pretty good defender at the same time, you know, so I think it's got to be Barisic. I mean, I think Flanagan's done a really good job filling in at left back, but then I also think Andy Halliday, whenever he's been there, has done a decent job as well. But it's got to be Barisic for me. International player, Croatian international, aye, Barisic.
Also?
Yeah, it has to be Barisic, mate. Definitely. He's the best left back we have at our club without a shadow of a doubt. And as Rudy just said himself there about playing for Croatia, and we all know how good that team is. It's just sad to see them how far they went in the World Cup only a few months back. So for him to get involved with that sort of class of player, a class of squad, should I say, yeah, I couldn't look past him.
All right, young Mount.
The boys nailed it. Borna for me.
Well, you know I've always been a big fan of Lee Wallace, you know.
Much as travel up pay to pay to say that.
Well, he's got any posters he still wants to flog to a garage full.
You didn't invest in that, did you?
I never
Oh my
did.
God.
No. I broke the Russell Martin once. I think you're right, the big Barisic. I think he looks as if fit. He's an asset. We'll see where it takes us. So that's my first choice back four. But when you mention Flanagan's come in, and obviously Worrell's come in, and obviously Andy Halliday's come in, the pleasing thing for me is we've got a squad, and it's down to one man, in my opinion, supported by the whole backroom staff and the club and the board. As your manager, Stephen Gerrard, MBE. So if you don't mind going on mute, we'll hear his thoughts on last night's game.
Stephen, just how pleasing was that result, given the fact you made 6 changes to your starting 11 today?
Yeah, well, the idea was to obviously give people an opportunity who hadn't had many minutes of late, try and get people up to speed in terms of fitness and match fitness, and also offload some players who've been playing an awful lot lately, like Sir Conor Golson, Scott Arfield, Danny Candeas, Tav. It gave me an opportunity to rest them. Obviously there's a bit of risk involved with that, but I had confidence and belief in the players that started the game and came on that they could get the job done, and we done it. We were professional, we had the right mentality. We could have been better at times, of course we could, and maybe we could have been a bit more creative, but 4-0 at home, obviously we'll take that. Yeah,
it was a terrific header, of course, from Nikola Katic to start things off today, and England Middleton got his goal, and it was a great night for him.
I thought all the goals were really good. You know, we showed again that we're a threat of set pieces if we get the right delivery. And, you know, I've had this game in my mind for a long time for Glenn. Obviously, he's been an impact player for us late, and he's done terrifically well. And this was a game I always had my eye on, that, you know, he'd go from the beginning, and he'd done himself no harm, and he's making it really difficult for me at the moment when I'm picking teams and squads, because he's doing everything he can to force his way in.
Yeah, he's just a young player, but he seems to have an old head on young shoulders.
He's a terrific finisher, you know, and you always get judged as an attacking player on goals and assists, especially in his position. And you know, he's adding goals to his game now. He's not just looking at threats out wide and in 1v1s. He's actually contributing in terms of goals, which is great, and if he can continue to do that, he'll be a big help to us.
Yeah, I know Alfredo Morelos got the third goal, of course. Great turn and finish from him, but disappointing for him to get a yellow card in the first half.
Yeah, of course. Obviously not having Lafferty available tonight, I had no choice but to play Alfredo. Obviously in different circumstances, I would have rested him as well, but he wants to play. I thought he's very unlucky to get the yellow card, because I felt it was a clear foul on him. I thought the air player should have got the yellow if anyone. The referee's punished him. I'm not sure what's being said, but I'm bitterly disappointed he won't be available for the next game.
What does it say about your squad just now? We know the average age of your starting 11 was just under 23. I think you brought in 3 very young players as well. The future certainly looks bright at the moment for Rangers.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've got an excellent academy, we've got excellent staff there, and there's no point them being part of Rangers or in the building if they're going to produce players and I don't use them at the right time. Of course, them academy players have got to be good enough, and we need to keep obviously producing players, but if I turn me back or don't give them the opportunity when the time's right, there's no point having an academy. So at the right times, if I can, I'll try and give people opportunities and a chance to impress, and I thought Stephen Kelly done all right tonight. Yeah,
there's so many positives, of course, to look back on over the 90 minutes. We saw Andy Halliday play a real captain's role tonight. You mentioned the debut for Stephen Kelly as well later on as well. So fantastic for them.
A lot of positives, and you know, the squad's getting back healthy in terms of the players that have been out, so I'm going to have some headaches in terms of picking 11s, in terms of picking 18s and squads, but it's a good problem to have as a manager. I think the important thing now is that players really perform on a daily basis and push themselves to stay in the frame. The last thing you want to do now is play your way out of the team and the squad, because the competition's going to get tough.
It's great for Rangers to be back in the semi-finals at Hampden, of course. Fantastic day for the fans, and you must be pleased, and obviously the draw against Aberdeen, something to really look forward to.
Yeah, well, I think it didn't really matter who we got, because it was always going to be a tough game, whether it be Hearts, Celtic or Aberdeen. Aberdeen it is. We had a tough game against them early on in the season. You know, good team, good manager. It'll be another really tough test for us, but you know, we'll be ready on the day to give it our best shot, and you know, we want to go to a final. That's the aim.
Sums it up nicely, and obviously he's talking about the positives that came out of last night game. Obviously 2 goals for Glenn. The performance of Andy Halliday, Dorrans, Morelos was the downside. Can I just talk about the Morelos thing? Could it be a blessing in disguise? Obviously we want him for the semi-final, but he's likely to get booked, and then we wouldn't have him for the final. So could it be a blessing in disguise? Would it be?
Not.
I don't know, Ox. I mean, I think I'd rather we had them for the semi-final. Yeah, that's going to be a tough game, because they're going to be well up for that. So they are. And I think the amount of work that Alfredo puts in is phenomenal at times. I mean, he was absolutely superb last week. So he was man of the match for me. So I think I would have preferred that. I don't think I'd be bothered so much about it had Lafferty not been cup tied, you know, because Big Lafferty can come in and score goals and do a job for us, no problem. I don't doubt that, but unfortunately he's cup tied, you know. So I think if it, you know, it's like you say, if they got booked in the semis, no available. I've seen them in the semi-final, because I think it's going to be one tough game. I think they're going to be well up for it, so there.
Aye, fair enough, mate. What about yourself, Ulster?
See, I thought I was reading somewhere that someone had put up that like, when if he had got to the semi-final, for some reason the cards would have been like redone again.
Are they white? Something I didn't know that.
I'm not sure, and that's just what I was reading. That might not be factual, but that's what I was reading anyway. But unfortunately, he got the yellow card yesterday. But it is frustrating, though. I know where you're coming from. You know, it could be a blessing in disguise, but still, it's just frustrating that Morelos is, you know, in a game, and I can see why he was getting frustrated at the tackle. But sometimes you have to just try and calm down, because we played that Aberdeen game actually with longer than we should have. Let's face it, with 10 men most of the game. Ended up conceding a goal, and see him away from home in Europe against the Russians. That could have went Persia for us when he got sent off, and then we had to play against Villarreal without him, and now we're missing him again in the semi-final. You know what? I think and this is only sort of the first quarter of the season, so I'm sure like Steve Gerrard knows getting a wee bit. I don't know what the word you would use for it. You know, frustrated maybe.
Frustrated, yeah. He's got to learn, mate. I mean, what I will say in his defence last night, and I'll take this to Mount, I thought it was a bad challenge on Alfredo.
Yeah, I mean, I think the boy was trying to do him. There's no doubt about it. It was just right in front of me and Sandy Jardine. I mean, what can you say about Bobby Midden? You know, he's I mean, what do you say about him? mate. Honestly,
He's a joke.
I think the biggest problem. I think the biggest problem with Alfredo is that I think defenders know that he's a hot toddy, as you'd say, but the wee man needs to learn to cool it. You know, he's not used to his in the stand. You know, and I think with Alfredo's what sometimes he's even worst enemy with these things. And I don't get me wrong, I think the tackle was bad, but he should know by now that this is Scottish football. You know, he's going to expect it. You know, let's be honest, that the half the teams in Scotland are hammer throwers, these boys. You know, and Alfie needs to get. You know, he needs to use the heat a wee bit more for me. But that is what it is. We'll still have, in my opinion, we'll still have the quality to get by Aberdeen. I think you've seen the last couple of games we've had 5 different scorers, so I think we'll find a focal point to play off of. You know, I think Kent can play up there, and I think young Middleton showed some good form, you know, through the middle as well at some points. I think Grosvenor can play through the middle as well, so we'll have options here. You know, we'll have
Scott
options.
Arfield could push off one, couldn't he?
That's it, mate. We've got options here, you know, and as I said, it's one game, you know, and we should have the quality to get by them.
Play Big Worrell up there.
That's it, mate. Big British man, I love that, eh?
I'd love it. Absolutely, pal. Absolutely.
But I mean, a wee bit of sympathy for him last night. I've been disappointed in some of the other situations he's got himself into, Bridgeman. But I thought it was a late challenge, shall we say, on him, and it was right at the top of the ankle. And, you know, through experience, it never happened to you. You used to do it, but it hurts.
No, but you're absolutely right. And look, we can't make any excuses for Morelos. Whether in fact he caused it or not, last night. That's quite a high number of cards he's got for, shall we say, mouthing to the referee or dissent of some description. In fact, we've seen he gets sent off in a European game for virtually the same thing, dissent. We know that the guy maybe, well, we know who were sitting at the game anyway, and anybody that watched it probably knows that Ayr United guy should have been booked for that tackle. And Morelos was lying there, and he allowed play to go on. The guy was lying injured, and he allowed play to go on. And it was just Rangers players that put the ball at the park. And that referee is not a good enough quality a referee to referee these big clubs. He's just not got it. And these two linesmen are probably a team. They're absolutely dreadful. The linesmen are standing waiting in the referee making the decision, and then their flag goes up based on what he's doing. So it's just a load of rubbish, you know. However, I'm not taking anything away. I think that the manager's going to have to come up. Just at Mount Vernon said, he'll have an idea. He's already came out now. We heard him there. And I don't know if we heard him in that one. I heard him in an earlier one when he said he's going to challenge Siddiqui to come out and do the business, right? He's got to come. And if we can get him up and ready for the game, it's up to him. If he can bring his game up by the time the semi-final comes in, he'll play. That's what I heard him saying. So
at the moment in time, mate, there's more chance of
course.
Siddiqui challenging for the first time. There's more chance of Ibrox Loyal doing a Sudoku.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree with you there, but I think that one of the boys will step up. And with the one you mentioned last night, because more and more imprinted in my brain, is the young boy Middleton couldn't go through the middle. As long as we don't play long high balls, because he will know what to do with them. It's got to be pacey balls. Let him run on it.
He scored goals for us, and he looks as if he's got a calmness to finish, Ulster.
Yeah,
young Glenn.
Yeah, the finishes were actually fantastic yesterday, and last night, should I say, and especially for a young fella who's desperate to impress. You could see him maybe he could have done, you know, sometimes, you know, this is your big chance, and you overcompensate sometimes, but he didn't. Mate, he was very, very calm, slotted them home. Could have got a third, could have got a hat trick. Unfortunate with that. But yeah, his finishing was fantastic, especially under the pressure. How he slotted that home lovely past the goalkeeper after the class ball by Halliday was what, to be honest, was just like a striker's finish. So you could be right, mate. You maybe could get a nod there and see how he goes.
Mount, then Rudy.
Listen, it's what it is, you know. I think Big Ulster's right with Middleton. I think he showed quality through the middle. It's a hard one, you know. It's a hard one for me, Ulster, but I'm sure we'll have the quality there.
Rudy,
I think the tackle on Alfredo was a shocker for me. And it was an absolute shocker. It was an even bigger shocker that Bobby Madden saw nothing wrong with it. I mean, that's an absolute joke of a referee, that guy. I mean, how could I let him away with that? It's just... And then he wonders why Alfredo's getting a wee bit hot-headed about the whole thing. Why would you know? The ref let them walk away with it. Disgraceful refereeing, in my opinion. As far as young Middleton goes, I said last night I'd much rather see him play on the left. I think he gives us so much more on the left, you know. Can buy players, his pace, you know, he knows how to score a goal, as he showed 2 games, 3 goals in his last couple of appearances for us. But I'd still rather see him on the left, you know, because he can get to the byline, he can get the ball and he can go by players, he can create chances, as he's proved. He's had a few assists when you know, in his performances as well, not just goals, assists for the forwards. So for me, I'd much rather see him play on the left. I don't want to see him play through the middle against Aberdeen in the semi-final, because I think he'll take an absolute battering after the hammer throws that they've got at the back there. And I really don't want to see that. I know
Who would you play?
Who would I play through the middle? I think probably, if I really had to push, I think I would probably go with Grezda through the middle.
I suppose that gives him a month to get fit. We've not really seen much of him cameos yet.
But we know people talk very highly of him, Ox, you know, and he can play, apparently he can play right across the front three, Grezda. So for me, he's a bigger lad, he's got pace, you know what I mean, you know, sort of watched him on YouTube scoring plenty of goals, like, so he obviously knows where the goal is. So for me, I'd probably go with Grezda in the middle, up front.
All right, I mean, it's a month to go, maybe. We don't know. You don't know who's going to be injured, who's going to be loss of form or whatever, but it's a wee blow, lose Morelos, but we just take it on the chin and move on.
Can I come in on that just for a minute, Oxy? I'll ask you a question on this one.
As long as it's not too hard, mate.
No, not be too hard, don't worry. I think the manager may not have selected, I may have been forced to select him, but I think he might have, if he'd given a choice, he wouldn't have played Morelos against Aberdeen, because Aberdeen appear to have his number and know what buttons to press on him. So he said run-ins with some centre halves, and particularly Aberdeen boys. So I just think they've got a way of pressing his buttons, and he reacts, and all of a sudden he's in the book and so on and so forth. So maybe the manager might have been thinking
I'm not going to impersonate anybody, but if Big Laugh was available, wee Fred might have had a break, but Big Laugh not been available.
Of course, that's what I mean. It might have been forced into it, but if he'd given the choice, if he had a choice, I think a real choice. I think he might have just asked Morelos not to play because I don't doubt for a minute Aberdeen went out for him. They would have went for him, particularly that boy McKenna. He'd have been crunching him and bumping him out every time after the ball, and the wee man would just have reacted. They seem to have the ability to make him react that way, you know. That's all.
All right, lads, if you don't mind going on mute, we'll have a tune for your Fox.
How many years ago, my boys, I left the Glasgow town. I followed the pull of the Yankee land, and here I'm settled down. Although I'm in so Bridgeton Cross and my friends so near and dear, what I would give if I could have the Rangers over here. Singing talk of California where the sun shines all the year, singing Bama about your Broadway light so clear. But it would fill my heart with gladness, it would fill my heart with cheer, if we only had the Rangers over here. For they're the finest team in all the land, and I'm sure that you'll agree. To see them win is something grand, it's part of history. For the boys who fear no noise, my lads, and I mean that's quite sincere. What I would give if I could have the Rangers over here. Singing Buck of California where the sun shines all the year, singing Bum about your Broadway life so clear. But it would fill my heart with gladness, it would fill my heart with cheer, if we only had the Rangers over here. and I'm sure that you'll agree. To see them win is something grand, it's part of history. Where the boys should fear no noise, my lads, and I mean this quite sincere. What I would give if I could have the Rangers over here. You can talk of California where the sun shines all the year. You can bomb my Bachelor Broadway life so clear. But it would fill my heart with sadness, it would fill my heart with cheer. If we only had the Rangers over here. If we only had the Rangers over here. If we only had the Rangers over here.
Brilliant.
You like that one, Bridge?
Superb, absolutely brilliant. If we only had the Rangers over here.
That's for our friends in Nassau, and also our friends, obviously, in Ulster as well. But that was it. Just quickly, a big shout out to the Rockingham Rangers Supporters Club, partly formed by our own Bear Down Under. Great first meeting last week. Hope it goes from strength to strength. 50 bears turning up in Western Australia, Rudy Bear. Unbelievable.
Everywhere, aren't we? I saw that on social media a few days ago. I had a wee look at it. I thought, that's fantastic. Well done, BDU and all his friends there in Rockingham. Fair play to them. Brilliant.
Brilliant. So we're talking about Middleton. Is he, in Stephen Gerrard's interview, is he getting the manager a problem? Because look, when he comes on for cameos, he's playing well. He has been playing well. He started scoring goals. I think he scored 3 goals now at Ibrox, hasn't he?
2 games, 3 goals, yeah.
Man, he's no starts, his first start. I thought Kent shaded him in the performance stakes last night, but I've got to be honest, Middleton, 2 goals, 2 good finishes, different kinds of goals. The boy, if this improvement continues, the manager's got a real problem. Bridgeman.
Good problem to have, as they say, the old saying. It's a nice problem for a manager to have when you've got players on form, and you have to youngsters. You have to give them that chance to blossom, and you've got to be wise and don't let their head get too big and so on and so forth, and drag them off. You've got to be able to judge that. If you have to drag them off, you drag them off and back on the bench again, type thing. But no, the boys looked quite mature last night. Obviously, his youthfulness comes out when he scored the goal and he's running over to the crowds. Just loving it, absolutely brilliant. He's all set for it. I agree with you insofar as his performances last night. I thought that young Kent actually just shaded him. I do like the way that boy plays football, but I'm not taking nothing away from anyone, seriously. But I think Kent had a marvellous game last night, despite being physically attacked on the touchline. I thought he had a tremendous game, and his use of the ball and his speed and turn. He's wonderful to watch. He really is wonderful to watch. But I'm not going to try and split them too much. I just thought that Kent was a wee bit better than the middle. But so what can I say? There's a couple of players in there. The manager got a hard choice. A hard choice, seriously.
Great problem he's getting him, Rudy Bear.
1.5. 18-year-old, fearless.
And do you think Stephen Gerrard's been listening to the show?
Possibly. He should be anyway, shouldn't he? He's 18-year-old. He's just a kid yet. He's got so much to learn, and that just he's a huge prospect for us. He truly is, Ox. He's a massive prospect. He's already started to show us what he can do. Each time he's come on, he's had a wee bit of a cameo. He's impressed, and now he's, as you say, adding goals to his game. The last 2 games he's appeared in, started there last night. The last 2 games he's appeared in, he's got himself 3 goals, numerous assists so far as well when he's come on, so he's got the assists and the goals now to his game. Pace, just absolute pace to Burnley, can go by players like they're standing still. For me, he's going to be a huge player for us in the next season or 2, that boy, he truly is. But it's a great headache for Stephen Gerrard to have, as he says in his interview. Don't forget, Jamie Murphy will come back at some point. Grezda is still working his way into the team. You've got Daniel Candeias and you've got Ryan Kent, who is quickly becoming one of my favourite players, I have to say. I said this a few weeks ago. Ryan Kent was going to be a big player for us this season. I just really liked the look of the boy. I liked his pace, his directness. He's got that wee shimmy where he can just, he goes by players as well. and he's done really so well in the last 2 or 3 games. I thought his performance he put in when we went down to the 9 men, him and Ajaria that night, I just thought the two of them were absolutely brilliant. They were all the 2 players we had in the team. They could take the ball at a bit of pace when they got the opportunity to take the ball 40, 50, 60 yards up the park, to try and relieve the pressure a wee bit.
Mm-hmm.
So,
fair comment.
And I do agree with you. I think Kent, if Middleton hadn't scored 2 goals, I'd have gave the man of the match to Kent. I'm getting to Middleton simply because he's 2 goals.
I wouldn't argue with that, mate. I get Middleton got it, but I thought performance-wise, I thought Kent shaded it. But obviously, you score the goals, you grab the headlines,
Yeah.
Great problem we've got, Ulster.
Yeah, how do you solve a problem like Middleton? Unbelievable. It just shows you, like, this is what we missed last season. Because when you play games and you say things aren't going right for you in the big games and you're looking towards your bench and there's nobody to change it, that's completely different now. You imagine bringing on, you've got Middleton to come on from the bench, you've got so much Grazed as well. It's absolutely night and day from last season. And Middleton has definitely played himself into Stephen George, into his head and into his plans. There's no doubt about it, man. I think it's actually helped Kent as well, to be honest, because I know at the start we were wondering, why was he getting all the starts? He wasn't really putting it on, but these last few weeks especially, mate, he's really turned it on because he knows he's got a young, good player there, busting to take his position and play. It's up to Stephen George what he does. Obviously, we'll wait and see. But I think eventually, he'd have to be giving Middleton a few more game time than what he has.
I think he's got it perfect. Can I ask, if you're not speaking, can you go on mute? We're getting some interference. I think you're right, mate. But I'll be honest with you. Me and Rudy, we didn't have a disagreement, difference in opinion, which is a different thing altogether. But I think so far the manager's got it perfect, and I think Middleton will be back on the bench, or they might not even be in the squad on Sunday.
Well, it's like my dad was saying there last night. A few of the boys were like, "Well, I'm not playing him. Should be playing him every game." And my dad was sort of saying that sometimes it's best to hold them back because it's like a wee rat weather. You've got them on the leash, they're wanting to get on, but you keep holding them back, and then you eventually let them go. And I think that's what's happening with young Middleton. He's busting, and sometimes if you put players on at too young of age, too early, they think they've made it. And I think what George's doing is keeping them level-headed, bring him out of the team, and then when he gets his chance, he does think if he keeps doing what he's doing, eventually he'll keep that position.
Rudy?
Aye, he's 18-year-old. That's something we need to remember about him. We kind of forgot that a wee bit with young Ross McCrory last season. We expected a lot of Ross McCrory, simply because, we didn't have much to hang our hat on, if truth be told, last season. He's 18-year-old, Middleton. Stevie Gerrard's doing the right thing with him. He knows much more about football than I'll ever know. I'd love to see him play every week, every game, but he's 18. He's still learning his trade. He's got loads to learn yet. He's got loads to add to his game. And he's getting there a wee bit at a time. Every time he gets a shot at play, he's in there, he does his thing, and we're all impressed with him. And as Ulster says, he's you hold him back, he's like a wee Rottweiler, he's ready to go. So you get him on the park when you fancy, give him a wee opportunity. And Stephen Gerrard said he had the Ayr United game in his mind to give Middleton a start, and boy did it work out. It was brilliant.
I'll go back to my original point. Obviously listens to the show, mate.
You did.
Obviously listens to the show.
You did say that, Oxide.
Listen, if you don't mind, got him mute. I think after arguably his man of the match performance last night, let's hear from one of the rising stars of our football club, young Glenn Middleton.
Glenn, 2 goals tonight, your first competitive start for Rangers. Where does that rank in your footballing career so far?
No, it's definitely one of the best. It was a very good night for me personally, but definitely for the team getting through to the semi-final. It's one step closer to what we want to achieve.
Talk me through your 2 goals. It's scoring in both halves, obviously, and coming at important times.
No, Andy's played 2 great balls through to me. The first one, it's just a case of letting it run across my body and just getting as close to goal as I can before shooting, and a bit like the second one, the same also, just trying to get my touch away from the defender and just having a shot. Yeah.
Playing alongside these guys on a daily basis and training and coming into match situations, how much do you think you've developed as a player even these last couple of months?
huge amounts. I'm confident going into any situation now, because I know I've got like the standard of player around me to find me in different positions and give me the chances to do what I can do.
Do you feel that you're playing well enough and really starting to push on for a regular starting spot on a more regular basis?
Definitely, I think it's just up to me to keep taking my chances whenever I get them, just taking it bit by bit, and hopefully it goes in the right direction.
And the Rangers fans seem to be really taking to you as well. How have you found that aspect of dealing with, I guess, that added level of expectation?
No, I'm very grateful for all the support that they're giving me, and hopefully I just keep showing what I can do every game, every chance that I get, and keep repaying the faith. Yeah.
Through to the semi-final with Aberdeen, it's a long way away, but one for the boys to really look forward to, and a great chance to hopefully reach a cup final.
No, we know as a squad what it means to this club to win trophies, and we're one step closer to that now, and we'll definitely be up for every challenge that comes our way.
And the big games keep coming. You're off to Livingston on Sunday, sure to be another tough game, but one again you'll be looking forward to and hoping to get the 3 points again.
Definitely, yeah. We just need to keep this momentum going. Every game matters, and tonight, and then we move on to Sunday and we get the 3 points.
And just finally, might you just have had the hat trick at the end there?
Yeah, I got a little bit too excited. I think I just rushed my first touch, but hopefully if I get another chance, hopefully it comes.
No, an impressive on the pitch, Brad. An impressive young man off it, mate.
Absolutely, pal. And I loved his bit at the end there. If I get another chance, I'll put it away. And I thought to myself, I know midfield players like that arrogant bastards. Sorry, arrogant wee guys, you know.
That just comes when you've got natural ability.
That's what happens, yeah.
Yeah, he comes across well. You can hear it in his voice. You know, he's delighted with how he performed, and rightly so. Rightly so, mate. He came in there and done a fantastic job. And I still remember the Gary McAllister interview, sort of pretty early on. They were just finished from doing the wee tour they'd done away when they were all practicing together and they were getting to know the squad. And Gary McAllister made comment about young Glenn Middleton and how impressed he was when they brought him. They took a chance to bring him with them, and Gary McAllister says some of the stuff he does is unbelievable. So obviously the backroom staff are very impressed with him, and he'll get more chances and hopefully he keeps improving.
Really, Bill?
He sounds like a very level-headed boy, doesn't he? I saw a wee interview with him a while back now, about a couple of months back, maybe 8 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, something like that, where he was talking about when he came up, you know, how gutted he actually was to be let go at Norwich, you know, but he said, you know, he was so happy to be at Rangers. He had no intentions of letting the opportunity pass him by. He was going to grab it with both hands and he was going to work really hard and not let anybody down at Rangers. And boy, is he doing that. He's not letting anybody down, you know. 18-year-old and he's playing. He seems to have an old
A Texas man is being investigated after
I think the boy will just get better and better. He could have got the hat trick last night. As he said there in his interview, he got a wee bit excited and he snatched at the
daughter
shot,
by the hair in a Houston area.
But his first touch as well wasn't great. He kind of, as he hit the ball comes into him, I watched that again today. It comes into him, he takes the ball down, but he knocks it a wee bit too much to his left, you know, instead of sort of trying to just dead the ball a wee bit, you know. But you know, you couldn't have a go at him for that. He's a fantastic young player. Sounds like he's got a right level head on him. Fantastic.
All right. We've covered the forward players. We've covered what happened to Morelos. Briefly, before we move on to the debacle that is Scottish football. The midfield, Ajira, Ross McCrory and Graham Dorrans. I don't know how many permutations we've played in this season. It's a lot. Koulibaly's played, Jack played, Ashfield's played, Rossiter.
Yeah.
Anybody else played? Anybody else? Candice has been in there.
Stephen
Andy
Kelly.
Halliday.
There we go.
Stephen
Halliday.
Kelly, come on, Halliday. You know, the combination in there has been a lot. But I thought that last night, Dorrans, it was good for him to get his fitness. I thought McCrory was steady, just steady. But I thought Ajira at times was worth the admission, buddy. Some of the things he'd done. And the way he covers the ground, mate.
Yeah. He's, it's like I said to you last night, he's got these big legs, and when he opens them up, he can shift, he can't half shift, you know. And for a big guy as well, as I said, I think, mate, I said this before, he's got a lovely pair of feet on him for a big guy, you know. He's just a fantastic young player, and that's the thing, he's a young guy as well, he's still got loads to learn. it is a young team, and in general, it's a young team, you know. And he's one of the boys that's come in and impressed me as well. I mean, I think he had I think, truth be told, he started a wee bit slowly, and I think maybe one or two is were a wee bit like, well, I'm not sure about this boy, but he certainly came into his own in the last few games for me, Hawks. Yeah, fantastic. Love watching him now. And I think he's going to go and add so much to our midfield. I think Stephen Gerrard said not that long ago, just a few days ago, he's looking to make some of these loans permanent. Hopefully he's one of them for me. Hopefully he's one of them. You know?
I think he's getting better, Bridgman. Again, gives the manager a problem because what 3 do you pick in there?
It's a big. Although I must admit, after the last couple of performances by Ajaria, I would suggest that he's one of the number one names on his team sheet. I have to say it.
So you're
right.
You play him with Koulibaly?
Yeah, I think you could. I think you could put him just in front of the two defensive mids. In reality, he's a really good.
Who's the other one? Who's the other one?
Well, with the two, Koulibaly would be number one, and you know, I think you'd put Arfield in there on form.
Defensive mid, Arfield.
No, hold on. You could put Arfield in there, but on form, he's been very good both in defence and in attacking mid. But I think you've got to think about Ryan Jack, providing he's fit. I think Ryan Jack's the best midfielder we've got in the club. That's my honest opinion.
Oh.
I do. It's a great, brilliant defensive midfielder. And of course, you mentioned Ross McCrory, who's playing very well. Young Rossiter. These are boys that they're nearly, I'm not saying they're 100% ready, but they're nearly ready to step in. And the manager's got big choices to make. However, I would go for Koulibaly and Ryan Jack as the defensive midfielders and Ajaria just in front of them. That's the way I'd go for it anyway.
All right, what about you, Ulster? How are you seeing it, mate?
I honestly don't know, if I'm being honest. Sometimes
at least you're honest.
It's just too many. There's just too many good players. It's such a hard thing to do because you're thinking, right, you have to have Jack in there, you have to have Koulibaly in there, you have to have Arfield in there. For me, that's three good midfielders, and then you go, how can you leave Ajaria out? He's a cracking player. How can you leave Dorans out? And then you're talking about Rossiter as well, who's another cracking young player. When he's fit and ready, he's going to be. It's so hard. I honestly don't know our three best midfielders, and I think that's fantastic to be able to say that. It's such a top three to pick, to be honest.
Yeah.
I have to agree with you, Ulster, but can I just say there's a whole variety of fitness levels within the midfielders. Although a lot of them are actually available, they're not quite 100% yet. And I really do look forward to the day that they are fit and ready to play from a match fitness perspective, because our manager are going to have to get some choices to make. Absolutely brilliant. What a choice he's got to make.
You know, if we're talking from a standpoint that they're all fit and all ready to go, what a choice that is. You know, if you look at some of the players, you know, we've got, as you say, you get Dorrans, who's just coming back and he's managed to get a bit of game time now. You've got young Rossiter coming back, who I really like, always have done. It's just unfortunate with the injuries he's got. You know, for me, I initially...
Rudy, what an attitude that boy's got. Did you see it last night?
Loved it. I just love his attitude, Ox. He tackles like nobody's business. Covers the ground with a bit of pace, and he's fearless in the midfield for me.
Smiles,
you know?
Smiles all the time. Just laugh.
He loves it. He loves what he's doing, and that's why it's such a shame for us. We haven't seen the best of this boy yet, you know, because he's injury worries the last couple of seasons, Ox. You know, I'm hoping this is the season where he shines for us, and we get to see the best of him. You know, but it's come back to the midfield thing again. If they're all fit, they're all ready to go. What a choice that is. You know, we've got some real cracking midfielders there now. I'd initially go with Koulibaly and Ryan Jack, and the way Big Ajaria has been playing recently, you know, he'd be playing in front of my two defensive midfielders. But then you've got Scott Arfield. You know what I mean?
You're Ryan Kent.
You're back to my problem again, Rudy.
Aye, but is that not a fantastic problem to have, Ulster, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Of course. Would we know a wish for this in the last 2 seasons that we've been back in the Premiership?
Anyway,
we never had that, did we? You know,
talking about problems. You've organised a lot of things in your working life, Bridge, for the D-Day landings. You know, you've worked on things, a lot of different things. So when you plot a football season out, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, stop me when I'm wrong here. So you've got to take the international breaks out, is that fair?
Absolutely.
They're pretty much fixed. So then you can't have fixtures in the top flight. You then plot in with your cup competitions are going to be around about your league fixtures. Yeah, you don't plan for bad weather because weather's weather. I accept that, yeah? You've got the winter break. You plan it all in. So you then say, look, we've got X amount of teams in Europe. They could potentially do this, and this, get to the final even. You don't know. So you've got to plan it accordingly and look at it and see how you're planning your fixtures. Am I doing all right so far, Rudy?
Yeah, keep going.
Aye. Carry on.
So you're sitting there, I mean, in the back of your fag packet, and you're drawing it out how it would be. And you're saying, right, okay, we can't have that there because of this. They might get here because we can't do that. Blah, blah, blah. And the whole thing unravels, right, before you just plot in who the league teams are. So how have the people who run our game got our semi-finals? It's no more Premier Cup competition, but it is a cup competition that the professional teams play for. How is the incompetency of the people who run our game got us in such a mess? Answer me that, Bridgman.
Wow. Yeah, how long have we got on that? what can I say? Look, I posted something in the lobby just a minute ago there. It started. The bitching, moaning, groaning started. They've came out with a decision, and obviously, and you could feel for them. Aberdeen are saying, no, this isn't right. They're just going to start a crucial semi-final of a cup in Glasgow, and our fans need to travel down there, and you're going to kick off at 12 o'clock. Nah, that's not right. However, that's what they're doing. And this is going to happen. You can't blame them. So the SFA/SPFL and all the rest of them are trying to run this, including Police Scotland. They just, to me, do not have a Scooby-Dooby-Doo what they're doing. It's as if they've never seen a big game. They've never seen a big event anywhere. All they can do is worry about what's going to happen in these two football matches to keep Rangers and Celtic apart. That's all this is about, nothing else. And they're going to have a hell of a job in their hands, and they're going to pay themselves a lot of money. That's for sure to do it. But really and truly, the authorities, yeah, what can I say about the authorities? They've stabbed us in the back so many times. They hate us with a vengeance, and now they don't know what to do. And apparently they met with all four teams today, and this is a theory they come up with. So what can I say?
But what I'm wanting to know is, it's a league, yeah, because it's a League Cup, yeah. We can't blame the SFA for this one, because it's a league, yeah. And whoever is responsible for the planning and drawing things through needs horsewhip. And in fact, it's made us even a laughing stock. People looking at our game are on a high. Steven Gerrard, we don't know when we're semi-finals are. We don't know when they're going to be played. What a mess.
It would be laughable if it wasn't so serious, Ox. As far I know, you can't blame the SFA, right? This is the SPFL. But see, as far as competency goes, you couldn't get a cigarette paper between the two organisations, in my opinion. Right, so let's deal with the SPFL. We know about the SFA. We'll go back to them, no doubt, later on in the season at some point. Right, the SPFL,
yeah, but they own Hampden.
Yeah, I know they do, Bridge, but right, so...
But it's not their fault this time, Bridge.
No, I understand that. Yeah.
Right, so let's discuss let's talk about the SPFL now, because we've gave the SFA a kick on many occasions, and no doubt we'll have plenty of excuses to do it again. The SPFL, for me, is an absolute joke. How Doncaster got that job, and it's just... we're a laughing stock right now. Here we have 4 sets of fans who basically cannot stand the sight of each other all milling about the city of Glasgow on the same day. The same day. Now, 2 sets of fans is bad enough, but you've now got 4 sets of fans all milling about. You've got a game at 12 o'clock, you've got Rangers and the Sheep, kick off at 12, and then at 7:45, I think, later on that evening, you've got them against Hearts. That, for me, is an absolute recipe for disaster, and I have no idea how they sat there the day and looking for that would be okay. Do they know this is Scotland? Have they seen the antics of some of the fans in this country over the last few seasons? This is ridiculous for me. And it's something, it's heading, I hope I'm wrong here, but I can only see this heading down.
It's a recipe for disaster.
It's absolutely a recipe for disaster, Ox. You're going to have the Bears coming out the game about 2 o'clock with the sheep. You're going to have them milling about the city while them, the green and grey, and the Hearts fans are coming off trains and buses, entering the city. Everybody will have been to the pub. They'll all be fired up on the bevy. What an absolute recipe for disaster for me. And when it all kicks off, it'll be everybody else's fault, but the people that's responsible for this mess, this absolute cock-up, it'll be everybody else's fault. It's a joke, man. It's just a joke.
Whoever in charge of the fixtures, mate, there's somebody who must plan it through. Now, I know we put the spanner in the works and we qualify for Europa League, but there's Hearts were in it, Hibs were in it. No, sorry, Aberdeen were in it, Hibs were in it.
Yeah.
Somebody could have qualified, and you've got to do your planning and have all contingencies planned out.
Well, of course, you've got to sit down and look at the beginning of the season and say, right, here's the dates for cup competitions, semi-finals, final, all that type of stuff. And you've got to look at the teams that you've got in. You have to plan forward. You've got to do it in every business, Ox. You know, you have to look 6 months down the road. You have to look a year down the road. You have to plan accordingly, you know, for times of the year, or you know, what's coming up in the next few months. As you say, the Aberdeen, who are in Europa League qualifiers, you have Celtic won the Champions League, booted out the Champions League into the Europa League. You've got Rangers in the Europa League. They should have looked at this in advance. Or maybe they didn't think there was going to be a problem because they weren't, in past performances of Scottish teams in European competition, they thought, it'll not be a problem. Nobody will get in.
They thought it would only be Celtic. That's what they thought.
That's obviously what they thought. So now we've come to this point where Rangers, as you say, Hawks, have chucked a wee spanner in the works here, you know, and then we've come to this point where in a month's time you're going to have 4 sets of fans milling about the city of Glasgow. It's just, you know.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised the Polish are letting it go ahead.
I can't believe it. They've agreed to this. I mean, they must have been part of the meeting the day. They must have been sitting there, you know, discussing this with the 4 teams representatives and the SPFL representatives. And the Polish surely to God, they've looked at this and thought, wait a minute, this is going to be some joke here, trying to keep this lot apart and just keep that, you know, keep a cap on everything on that day, you know.
Who do you think is going to pay the policing bill?
I don't know how that goes, Rich.
You know what I mean? They're going to be there all day. They're going to be there till 10 o'clock in the morning in Glasgow. Right through to when, God knows when that'll finish, 10 o'clock at night or something like that. That's an enormous amount of time. I mean, a huge shift for that, maybe
12,
double shift.
You're talking about 12 hours, Bridge, aren't you? You know?
Yeah, they probably need to pay them triple time. enormous police bill. An amazing police bill. Never mind. I'm sure the Scottish Government will step in and pay for it.
Does anybody think the solution to the whole problem would have been 2 kick-offs at 3 o'clock, one at Murrayfield, one at Hampden?
I think you would find that a lot of folk would say, absolutely, go for it.
That would have made much more sense to me, at least. That way, you're keeping them apart. They might cross paths as they're all heading back home again. But that's got to be easier. It's got to be easier than having 4 sets of fans all milling about the city on the same day, you know?
That would be too sensible. I think well, for point 1, they did plan this. They planned it for 1 team and only Celtic to be in Europe.
Absolutely.
That's what the plan was. And that's went on them.
I never thought of that, mate. That's a great point.
That's the way they planned it. They only planned it for 1 team. They didn't bank on anybody and us boys doing what we've done this season, but we have, so haha. But the problem of it is, all they had to do last night, which would have been simple, was before this, as you spoke to the Murrayfield, the people there, the representatives, tell them that the situation that they could possibly be in. And after they'd done the first draw, and if the 2 clubs ourselves in the end didn't cross paths, then all they had to do was a second draw after that with Murrayfield and Hampton in the pot and just drew the balls out and done it all in one night, done it safe and easy. Unfortunately, that was too hard for them. Now they've put themselves in this predicament of both teams. Now, our game could go into extra time for a start.
Big man, what are you doing tomorrow? What are you doing tomorrow?
Oh, I'm darting tomorrow.
I want you in that Brussels sorting out this Brexit stuff. If you could sorted that out so easy as that.
Oh, it is simple. But now they've made a... Oh, God, I can't even believe they've done this. But the thing is, what are they going to do? So say we beat Aberdeen. Everybody's in the pubs because that's a massive game for us. It's a big rivalry. Are they going to come in and ask people with Rangers shirts, can you come out of the bars, folks, and head on home? That's not going to happen, is it? It's not going to happen.
So the time that'll be on the telly. The Bears will be there. 12 o'clock kick-off. Game will finish at 2. Could go extra time. Could even go to penalties. Might not finish at 3 o'clock.
Talking 3 o'clock,
Aye, they start heading to the game about 5.
It's mental.
God help the people that live at Hampden. God help the people that live around Hampden. Wow.
What are you always told to do before a football game? You're always advised, especially in cup finals, leave early and plan your journey.
Yeah.
So what are they going to do? Have the hearts and all coming from Edinburgh early on and trying to get it. It's got to be an absolute disaster.
I don't think Aberdeen fans can get the train done. I don't think there's one early enough.
There's not. So they've got a possibility of, I don't even know how that's going to work out for them, but then that's not worried about Aberdeen because they'd be gurning if they're the late match because there's no way to get home anyway. So,
come on, Ulster. You know that they'll say, well, Aberdeen fans are coming down. What time's the game? We'll put a special train.
A Texas man is being investigated after publicly punished.
No, of course they won't. That's planning. They wouldn't know that.
I think the only good thing of it is, I suppose, is that for the couple of hours that Hearts have to wait for us, maybe the grass will grow a wee bit between those few hours.
Wow, what a predicament they're in now, Oxford. What a predicament.
But it's a predicament of their own making, Brad.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, nobody messed this up but them. You know, they messed this up. They brought this stupidity on themselves because they couldn't plan for them. I mean, there's Ulster. There's big Ulster there who, within the space of 30 seconds, come out with the perfect solution. You draw the 4 teams out the pot. Right, you have Hampden, you have Murrayfield in the same pot. You draw the 4 or in a pot. You take the 4 teams out. Right, this is the 2 fixtures: Rangers v Aberdeen, Hearts v Celtic. You then take Hampden or Murrayfield out the pot, and you say, right, there you go. Rangers and Aberdeen are playing at either Hampden or Murrayfield, and obviously, you know, the second stadium out the pot. The second fixture that was drawn plays there, whether it's Hampden or Murrayfield. And it's all iron done, mate. It's sorted. Everybody knows where they're playing. The 2 kick-offs are at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Everybody has time to get to the game and everybody has time to get home for the game. Utter stupidity. We're ran by cranks. Our organisation are ran by utter cranks.
Go on yourself, Rudy boy.
Well, there's the perfect solution. He's just said it, and it took him 30 seconds. And these absolute cranks couldn't come up with that. You know what I mean?
See the Polish, you think the Polish would be asking questions? They'd be saying, well, how did you get into this mess? You must have known this is potential to happen at the start of the season.
Yep. I mean, see at that meeting the day, Ox, as well, do you think maybe the 4 clubs should have spoke up about this as well? Because they've got to take into consideration the 4 clubs, and I mean Celtic, Rangers, Aberdeen and Hearts, their representatives have got to take in the safety aspect of their fans. That's got to be accounted for them, right? So at some point in the day, had I been sitting in that meeting, I would have said, wait a wee minute here, you're overlooking the fact that we're going to have 4 sets of fans that absolutely despise each other in the city on the one day because of 2 2 semi-finals. There's got to be a better solution to this. This is going to end in disaster.
It's been a long time since you had 2 semis in the one day, innit?
I've got my wee boy friend nowadays, Ox. Don't you worry about that. I'm all right. But do you know what I'm saying though? Do you not think that one of the representatives for the representatives of the clubs at that meeting today should have turned around and said, "Wait a wee minute here, look, this doesn't bode well. This, there's got to be a better way of doing this." I mean, I read somewhere today that weekend there's no rugby at the Murrayfield that weekend, and that the SRU were quite willing to have the stadium used for a semi-final.
I'm seeing that you can buy tickets for both games, mate. You can just find your seat and watch the two of them. So,
wow,
because the Celtic supporters will not turn up because it's no us that's playing.
Well, there you go then. So you get 2 for 1.
That's a good point, actually.
Rudy's right though. Rudy's correct in what he says. They see when the S hits the band, so to say, and not swear. It'll not be SPFL. They'll be putting this isn't to do with us. This is to do. They'll be pointing it back at the clubs, and it'll probably be pointed back to us, whether we win or lose. Because they'll say, well, if the Rangers fans had just went on home, there'd have been no trouble. We'll guarantee it. You wait to see.
Yeah.
We'll be the one to blame for this.
Can I just say, guys, look, what the Police Scotland are saying, or their representative should I say, they're saying that Police Scotland are the most experienced, probably in Europe, of handling large occasions. That's what they're saying. The most experienced for policing large occasions, and I'm thinking to myself, is this the same mob that let the Hibs fans run onto the pitch, couldn't get there in time, blame the Rangers fans for stopping the Polish vans getting in, all the rubbish that came there, and no, I'm sorry, that's only a couple of years ago. They still haven't done MD yet. Hibs haven't been done. Oh, for God's sake, never mind.
There was actually an ex-police officer on one of the radio shows tonight, and he expressed his concerns on it. He's dealt with games, etc. in the past, and he could not believe that they've done this. He could not believe it. So he says it's a recipe for disaster.
It absolutely is, Ulster. I don't know how they could see that today, like Ox said, I'm very, very surprised, that Police Scotland's let them go ahead with this. I don't know how much you say. They'd have been at that meeting the day. Representatives for Police Scotland would have been at the meeting today, and had I been the representative for Police Scotland, I'd have said no chance. There's no way we're going to allow this to go ahead. We just can't do it. It's going to be, as Brad said, an absolutely huge policing job, huge, absolutely massive, and I would be very surprised.
You're spot on with it, but the clubs have got to ask the people who won their game. How did this happen?
How did it happen? Yeah, absolutely. How did it happen?
And who's responsible? And who's ultimately responsible?
I think as far as the SPFL goes, I think ultimately, who's ultimately responsible? But it's the mind-bending stupidity of the whole thing for me. So I just, as I said, big Ulster sorted it out in 30 seconds. They've got the wrong man in the job. We need big Ulster in there, so we do.
Today the Police Scotland announced an inquest or inquiry, should we say, into the crushing incident at the last Celtic Rangers match over at the Pedodome. But what they've said is they never mentioned which set of fans. They said Old Firm fans. And I'm shouting at the telly, my wife's asking me to shut up, because I'm shouting at the telly saying, it's not Old Firm fans. It was long before the match. The crushing happened with Celtic fans at Celtic Park. Why can't they print that? Why can't they say that? That's what happened. They're somewhere along the line, they're trying to bring Rangers into it. Rangers had nothing to do with that. It was all happened at the Celtic end.
Just for the record, she never asked them to shut up. She told them to shut up.
Oh, well, yeah. That's more like it. That's more like it. A big shout out and then followed by a plate. Shut your face, you. Oh, been there, boys.
You boys will know better than me about the whole arrangements of public transport, except on a Sunday in Scotland. It may be different here, but how easy is it for the Hearts fans to get back to Edinburgh on public transport at that time of night? Would things be closed down for them?
That'll be difficult. Nobody. On a Sunday, they'll need your special trains on, mate. It's no normal service, mate.
No, it'll be the real specials. They'll stick some of them on, especially for the Aberdeen fans, you know, to get them back up the road again.
Well, they can't come down. They're not going to go up the train. They can't come down.
Well, that's a possibility, yeah. But it is laughable, isn't it, Ock, saying that they've got themselves into this position. You'd have thought, you know, a wee bit of forward planning, this could so easily have been fixed. You know, but it shows you the level of people that run your organising bodies, you know what I mean?
Can I ask a question about the game? It's normally televised games. Is it all done by, is it the one company? Is it BT, for instance?
Yeah, BT.
Or are they split between BT and Sky? Are they going to be... Right, so they only need to set up once then.
They're doing both games.
Well, that's it. They've saved themselves a fortune. They only need to set up once for the one day.
Well, I'll be in double time though, Bridget.
Of course. Of course.
Can I ask another question? Just on we talked about logistics, the planning, how it's a mess. What happens if it's pouring a rain and the park gets cut up?
God save us! I knew you'd come up with something like this. Oh, what happens if it's foggy and you can't see it? And have to cancel it. Oh my God!
Well, also, I saw on social media the other day as well. It's after the announcement that somebody's came out and already said that pitch won't take 2 games on it. It won't take 2 games. It's still bedding in. It won't be. You won't be able to play 2 games in it. You know, on the same day, and especially if the weather is really wet that day.
You're joking.
I hope it is.
Well, it never rains in Glasgow, does it, Rudy?
No.
End of October, there's no chance of it raining, surely.
You're not going to get it in Glasgow. So that's also a concern. You know, it's already been brought up. I can't remember who it was now, but I read a wee bit anyway, as I said, on social media. Somebody saying, the pitch is still bedding in, so you can't play 2 games in it. The pitch just won't take it, and especially if it's a wet day. That'll make it even worse than it's already going to be.
Jesus,
hey, listen, there's a cracker, by the way. I have to say, Blue Shadow's put it in, and he's saying, what he's saying is, what about the backup services, hospitals, and doctors and nurses?
They'll be on standby, I would imagine, won't they?
Oh my God, what's it going to cost?
They'll have their Sunday off. Their Sunday off will be cancelled. You're coming out of work, by the way, Sunday. Don't forget.
Blue Shadow, that's a brilliant point.
Actually, but when you actually say it to yourself, because all the games will be 50-50, you're going to have 25,000. That's not just because you're going to get more than that in the pubs and clubs, especially Rangers Celtic, because it's Glasgow. But at the very least, you're going to have 50,000 other supporters in Glasgow, not counting the Old Firm, in one day. That is mental. It is mental, I can't believe. Oh my God. Only Don could do this. And he was the one I thought he was, when he done his wee interview, I thought he was going to come out with the whole spiel, look, it's contracted, so it's something we had to do. He didn't even say it. He actually says there was other stadiums available if they needed to use them, but they didn't feel like they had to. So they could have used them, I think.
Just amazing that they could sit there and say that, Ulster, isn't it? There was other state there available, but they didn't feel that they needed them.
Fuck me, like. Oh, I don't even know anymore, I swear to God.
Aye.
Do you know what's even worse? This scenario's been on the cards for weeks and weeks and weeks, and they waited to the day to try and sort it out.
Because there were fingers crossed. At the start, it was like, oh, please don't, Rangers don't get through. Obviously, we did. And then it's fingers crossed all over the place. So hopefully St. Johnstone do it. Hopefully somebody, and then the very last was last night, fingers crossed again. Oh, please, please, please. I hope they draw each other. And we didn't. And there was no plan B. And they looked pathetic.
Actually, you're right, Ulster. They've got no any plans at all, by the sound of it. And yeah, seriously. Come on, seriously. All you need to do is look at those ties, and you would say, I mean, okay, we may know we're the most intelligent people in the whole world. Would you have bet Celtic to beat St. Johnstone?
Yourself.
Yes. No, but you would have. You would have said, I'll take Celtic beat St. Johnstone, not because I'm any ordinary sensible person would, and you would take Rangers. So their Rangers and Celtic are in the draw, no matter what. Make your plans. Make your plans. It's crazy.
Hello.
Hi,
thank Tracy, you. How you doing?
How are we doing, Tracy?
I'm
This is
sober
Thursday,
tonight, by
it's
the
no
way.
Friday.
I'm sober tonight.
All right. Tracy, use your thoughts on what's happening.
I can't believe the two of them are actually playing on the same day. I cannot believe the two games are playing the same day at Hampden. It's going to be total carnage, and we're going to get the blame.
Yep, you're right, Tracy. Yeah.
They'll be plastered all the bloody papers. Do you know what I mean? That'll be us. Rangers' fault.
Here, Tracy, maybe that was their plan B all along, eh? Maybe they thought...
Maybe it was, that was FPL for you, innit?
Aye, we'll shoulder
SFA for you, do you know what I mean?
We'll shoulder the blame on to the Rangers fans. It'll be all their fault.
Aye, because it's always their fault, that's it.
Yeah.
We've got to give somebody the blame, isn't it? So it's going to be us. Do you know what I mean? Totally ridiculous. I can't understand it at all. I was watching the news tonight and I thought, and they were saying, the Police Scotland and all that will be able to handle it and things like that. And I thought, no way. Do you know what I mean? You've got supporters coming for Aberdeen. You've got supporters coming for Edinburgh. It's got to be total carnage. It should have been played, one game played in Murrayfield, one game played at Hampden at the same time, and that was it.
Yeah.
Totally. It's an absolute joke. Ridiculous.
See, the problem, as I noticed today, Tracy, and I was listening, and all they're caring about is, we can have the stadium cleaned out, it'll be fresh for the next two clubs coming. That's not the issue. The major issue is Glasgow, and the people are going to be stuck in Glasgow, trying to get transport, bumping into each other. It's just
exactly, Ulster. I feel sorry for the away supporters, do you know what I mean? Because Rangers and the Mankeys are here in Glasgow, do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you've got supporters coming for Aberdeen, you've got supporters coming for Edinburgh, and it seems it's going to probably get the brunt of it, do you know what I mean? And although I hate them, do you know what I mean? Well, no, I don't hate Hearts, right? Obviously, I do the new because it's Happy League, but I feel sorry for them. In fact, I don't feel sorry for the Sheep because they're dirty players and dirty supporters. But at the end of the day, I do feel sorry for them in a way because they're going to be the brunt of it. How do they get home? Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's a sad thing.
Well, you have the potential of having, say you don't know Glasgow too well, say you're coming from Edinburgh, you're bringing your child with you. You go into the first pub, that's Hearts men or Rangers men. You go into another side of Glasgow, that's Celtic men. You go into another pub, that's Aberdeen.
I know, exactly. Do you know something else? I went to a Rangers and Aberdeen game away with my dad when I was quite young, and I had to actually stand in a bookies with my dad. And I was maybe only about 15 at the time, and I was quite nervous. My dad's like, hide your scarf. It was full of Aberdeen casuals at the time, when the casuals were really rife. And I was absolutely petrified, do you know what I mean? And I thought, my dad's like, I don't think twice of hitting you. And I thought, just to get back to a supporters bus, do you know what I mean? And you can understand with people that's actually taking children to the games, it must be terrifying, especially with 4 teams, do you know what I mean, that day. I know that I'm going to go there, my birthday's the 27th, so I'm out the 28th. My dad, I'm going to go, and we'll go for a drink and all that beforehand. Not that I'm a boisterous person or I'm a fighter or anything like that, but at the end of the day, there's going to be people at the day. For each side, I'm not talking about, just for one-sided thing, but I'm talking about for every different sort of team. And it would be terrifying if you take your children, do you know what I mean?
It's a mess, Tracy, and there was no need for it. And who planned the whole thing needs to look at their position seriously. The guy who's ultimately responsible should think about honoring his resignation and ASAP.
Exactly. See, tonight when the news, when I was talking about the Celtic...
Can I just cut across you? No, it's all right, Tracy. We'll be right back to you. We'll be joined by Gary. How are we doing, Gary?
How are we doing, strangers?
All right,
Wheels.
Hi, what about you,
man? Wheels.
Nice to yourself, Wheels.
This man will know how to fix it.
Well, funny enough, right, first of all, let me just say, we know it's complete madness playing on the same day. It's just, there's no other word for it. However, I did hear earlier on tonight that in terms of where the game's played, they have no option. It's in the contract that the games must be played at Hampden.
That's not what Doncaster said today.
No.
It was. I happened to listen to Snyder earlier on, and that's what they said. It's in the contract that the games must be played at Hampden.
When Doncaster said, Gary, there was other stadia available. They did.
So, don't know if there was, if they get confused about what was said.
I think you would need to go back to 1980. I think Rangers played Aberdeen and Celtic played Hibs. They played Hibs at Hampden. We played Aberdeen at Parkhead. The two games kicked off at the same time. I don't think it's happened anything like that since then, which is nearly 40 years ago.
See, in regards to the pitch, though, it's a blessing in disguise that we're up first. Because if the pitch is going to cut up the way that people are talking, then, I'm just glad that we're up first.
Well, obviously, we don't know what the weather's going to be like, but we're assuming it's going to be damp around about that time of the year. Traditionally, it is in the west of Scotland, Tracy.
Yes, I'm actually glad we're playing first as well. I actually agree with Gary. Is it Gary? Yeah. Sorry, I didn't quite catch his name, because at the end of the day, I wouldn't want to play quarter to 8 if the pitch has been already used for an hour and a half. You never know, it might get into penalty, like extra time, then penalties. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, we're on first. But they'll always believe, if Celtic get beat, they'll always say, "Oh, it was the pitch, it was the state of the pitch," But then, see, then when we went to Parkhead, when we had a wee bit of a disappointing game, when we didn't play really good in the first half, you remember it was on the news tonight about everybody getting sort of crushed and that. The reason everybody sort of get crushed is because there's usually more Rangers supporters. Well, no more Rangers supporters, but we usually have a greater ticket allocation when we go to Parkhead, and then we only get allocated about 800 tickets. So at the end of the day, that's what it was, because the Police Scotland had never ever dealt with that in their life. It was always dealt with the Rangers supporters that side, Celtic supporters that side. So they had never dealt with all the sort of Celtic supporters going to the other end too. Do you know what I mean? And that is why I don't think they have the resources to actually sort of let's do what's the word I'm looking for, because I've got a terrible memory. Let's do a rehearsal sort of thing, and I think that's why the sort of crushing all that happened.
I think Tracy, because when they won the league against us, it passed off without any big thing that they were expecting. I think that's one of the reasons why they're kind of all right with us.
I think at the end of the day, they didn't expect us to get where we are now as well. Do you know what I mean? Same with
You're spot on, Tracy. You're
same with the
spot on.
game as well. Do you know what I mean? The Hibs Cup final. Look at how much carnage the Hibs supporters come on and done that. What happened? Nothing came out of it. Nothing. Not a thing. Do you know what I mean? That was absolutely a disgrace to Scottish football. But do you know what? It was all about Rangers. Nothing in the paper about Hibs. Nothing. Absolute disgrace. At the end of the day, nobody likes us, and that's it.
And Petrie still got his job at the SFA, Tracy. Rod Petrie, he still got his job at the SFA after all that carnage they caused at a cup final.
That was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, was it Kenny Miller? He even get hot and all, do you know what I mean? Although he's not there anymore, but then is it Lee Wallace?
Yeah.
Sorry, but see, at the end of the day, it was an absolute disgrace. It was a disgrace for Scottish football, actually, at the end of the day. I was absolutely disgusted.
Tracy, just going back to the actual football, you've not been on for a last couple of games I've played. How are you pleased with the last couple of results?
I've not been there because my dad's been on holiday, actually, and I wasn't well. I never went last Saturday because I was in hospital last Saturday, actually. That's why I wasn't there, but I was so pleased. Totally loved the game last night. Different players, six changes, and then, well, obviously there was 9 changes because they put on 3 subs. Was I 3 subs they put on? John Kelly and I just think Morelos, he can't keep his mouth shut, but I don't know if it's just that he's bad. I always say his language barrier, do you know what I mean? If he just seems a bit arrogant toward the ref, but I don't even think he should have got a yellow card. Anyway, he's out of it, and that's it. I'll be there next Thursday, so I'm looking forward to it.
Good on you. Everything all right with your good self?
I am fine. I'm absolutely fine.
Right,
I'm top notch. Do you know what I mean? I thought the bistro was I was a wee restaurant he's went to in Rutherglen because I wasn't so there, and that's actually where it was. So I think it was Skipper that said to me online, he says, no, it's actually just at Broomy Lawes, the Broomloon stand. It's like the sort of, I mean, I thought, I thought you meant to be Stone Rutherglen. I was so embarrassed. Oh my God.
Did you put it in your sat nav?
I've not had a drink since past Thursday, by the way.
Did you put the booster on your sat nav?
But I'm going next Thursday anyway, so I might actually come and put a face to names, do you know what I mean? I'm driving right enough, I'm driving, so...
Right, okay, brilliant. And how are you, Mules?
I am alright, mate. Obviously, you may know I was on holiday for a couple of weeks there, so that was me.
I know, I was waiting for the present, I was waiting for the postcard, nothing.
It's on the way.
Right, okay.
I'm just looking for a stock of rock wheels. That's all I want. I just want a bit of rock. Ain't no day with a bit. As long as there's a bit of rock, mate, I'm fine.
But any flavour?
Oh, anything at all, do me. You know me, Ox. I don't mind.
They know you. That's it.
Cola cubes.
Hey, I'm actually going to go to the bars and get you all your old-fashioned sweeties to bring them up next Thursday, by the way.
Only cola cubes required for the
I'm going to get the Chelsea Whoppers, though. It's good to
anyway,
go sober because I think everybody knows I'm drunk when I come on here.
Never, Tracy. We've never noticed.
Sober as a judge.
Anyway, we've reached that time of the evening. Bridgeman.
Oh, what can I say? A marvellous night again. Great discussions. Well done to everybody. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Again, the review, our team was excellent for me. Absolutely excellent. So can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, in particular Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, every single one of us, please, please, please keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers need us.
Can I thank Tracy and Wheels for coming on and joining us? Of course, Young Mount, Big Ulster, Bridgeman, Rudy Bear and Fox and Old School Blue in the background doing the technicals. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 9 and 11 talking about all things Rangers. Take it away, Fox.
The English have Charlton, the Irish George Best, the Welsh have Big Davis, you know, Ken the rest. Let the French win the Derby, let the Yanks have the moon, but leave me the Rangers, the pride of the toon. They're the idols of Scotland, and each game they play, they try and they fight till the end of the game. When victory's theirs, in my heart they will ring this chorus. I hope that you'll help me to sing. It's Rangers, it's Rangers, it's Rangers for me. If you know a Ranger, you know used to me. The heads and the hearts and the thistle apart, but they can't beat the Rangers, the pride of them all. From home on the range up to bonny Dundee, just sing in this chorus and soon they'll agree. It's Rangers, it's Rangers, it's Rangers for me. So here's to the lads in the royal blue, and here's to the lassies who follow them too. I don't want the hips, the hearts or the selves, I wish them the best, but I'll never forget. It's Rangers, it's Rangers, it's Rangers for me. If you know a Ranger, you know used to me. The hips